You Hindus are so backward. You had Sati, which forced women to jump into fire after their husbands died. No, that's one of the biggest myths about Sanatan Dharma, and here's the truth. Point number one, the word itself never referred to any practice at all, stemming from the Sanskrit roots asa and sata, which refer to virtuous, pious women who are devoted and faithful to their husbands, not just in life, but also sata gamana and sata marana, which means going with them after death. When Christians say this in their wedding vows, why is it beautiful, but we Hindus are considered misogynist for the same thing? Also, the connection with fire became a later generalization due to Puranic stories of goddess Sati immolating herself after her father's insult of Shiva. But our Vedas themselves not only do not have any mention of Sati, in fact, they discourage it, encouraging grieving widowed women to move forward in their lives. The Rig Veda's 10th Mandala 18th Sukta 7 to 8 verses contain the famous line, "Rise woman, go back to the land of living," even giving the freedom to remarry in her interest. It was only due to European translators who mistranslated the last word agre, which means moving forward, into agne, which means moving into the fire, that the fire of misinformation literally spread. British records themselves show India's 0.002% or lesser population having these cases, proving that it was never a widespread tradition. And in fact, when they took unnecessary credit for banning this custom in 1829, they admitted that Hindus themselves opposed it, and there was a lot of debate within our own community on the practice. It was not only voluntary and not customary, it was discouraged. But the dark reality is that these same Britishers, Portuguese and French European colonizers wanted to Christianize India, so they needed our Sanatan Dharma to look bad, and for this reason they led a mass smear campaign through their missionaries, evangelists and writers like Duperron, William Carey, James Mill, who all created negative PR stunts by fabricating false data and overblowing the numbers of the cases way out of proportion just to make our culture look bad. And the unfortunate unspoken truth from our end is that when India was being pillaged and ruined by centuries of Mughal invaders, their Islamic soldiers used to molest, impregnate, imprison, and also forcefully, cruelly convert the women and widows of our brave Rajput Kshatriya warriors. So the unfortunate practices like Johar also came into being to protect the woman's dignity when the city fell as a last stand. Even Mahabharata's chapter of Madri has the nuance of her doing it out of guilt, feeling responsible for her husband Pandu's death. But later chapters not only have contradicting lines implying that it may have never happened, we also have the example of Kunti and other wives who continued living and having children. Now, books from historian authors like Meenakshi Jain, who you should definitely read, are exposing this propaganda, which was always created to weaken and question our own faith, while these same European colonizers burned and hanged 50,000 women in the witch trials of the 15th to 17th century. So don't fall for their false narrative. Share this and follow for more.